What is going on, my beautiful people? I hope you guys are having a beautiful, amazing day today. In this video, what I want to talk about with you is being able to get to a place and understanding that you are already complete in God. Now, what I'm saying about this is being able to know, once you understand that you're already complete, you're not trying to get it out from the world, you're not trying to get it from other people, you're not trying to get it from validation in the success that you have, the money, the cars, anything like that, anything you do on a day-to-day basis. That is the most free place that you can come from, and you're coming from a place of love. And the thing is you're actually going to perform your best, you're actually going to get the best results, you're actually going to be your best self from that. Now, what I'm really talking about here, there's a concept in the book called Inner Excellence that really just talks about being able to compete from a place of leading with your heart and not your ego. When we're leading with our ego, it is so fragile because it's focused on the results, it's focused on the outcomes. And when you're focused on that, it's not very good, because you're going to be up and down based on what other people think about you. You're not going to be able to make sacrifices. You're not going to be able to embarrass yourself, look stupid, because you're worried like, oh, people are going to judge me. This is going to happen like this. I can't have that happening. So I'm not going to make these sacrifices. I'm not going to try new things. A way of putting it, and a funny way of putting it, is, okay, here's, we're going to bring it all together here. It's powerful. I really want to get this into y'all's brain. Okay, here's the thing. So, when I play Call of Duty, I've been playing Call of Duty since I was a little kid, and I'm very, very good at it. I'm a very high rank in Call of Duty, but every year a new Call of Duty comes out. So, the thing is, I had stopped playing Call of Duty for a while, and then when I got back into it, I already know I have practiced Call of Duty, I have played Call of Duty, I have grinded, I watched pro gameplay, and I was already at like pretty much the highest level. I've played with professional Call of Duty players and held my own, and even done better than them sometimes. So I know that I'm there, and that's in there. You know what I'm saying? That's in there. But when I hadn't played for a while and I came back to Call of Duty, it was a little bit tough, because I had to get back into, I don't know everything right now. I'm still learning. My shots off, everything's off. And I would get into a ranked game, and I would get smack talked by some low ranked players that were not very good, but they would smack talk me because like I was still getting back into the groove of it. Or they were kind of like high, semi-high rank, but I'm all the way over here. I know that that's my potential. I'm all the way over here, but I'm getting smack talk from over here. And what I had to do when I realized that is I had to ground myself in the fact that it's a long-term thing. I know that I'm over here, and I know I can get to that. It just takes some time. And if I keep hearing these people talk and letting that get into my mind, and you know, even sometimes I'll be like, damn, like, can I get back to that place? What the hell's going on? Like, why am I playing like this? But once I started to anchor myself in the fact that I knew I had this value, and that it was just a long-term thing, seeing it play out, all of a sudden I can go into the games, not worry so much about it, have fun, get better, knowing that I'm just putting God first, getting better, and it's a long-term thing. And my best will come from that. If I let people get to me, if I let the fact that I'm playing bad, the fact that I'm playing not at my level get to me, it's gonna take me so much longer to get there, back there. You know what I'm saying? So the concept with this, when you're in your life, if you can realize here, the high value is already given to you by God. He has set, there's a verse that says that he has already foreordained the stuff that you're gonna go through before you. He's already set it before you. If you can understand that he already has you on this beautiful path, and there's verses in there that says, in him and in ye we are complete. Oh wait, and ye are complete in him, which is the principality of power, something like that. But it's, and ye are complete in him. I know for sure that's the verse. So if you know that you're complete in God, that's what it's saying. In Jesus you are complete. Knowing that, why we don't have to do anything. We can continue to, like Solomon says, rejoice and do good in our life. There is nothing more powerful than to rejoice and do good in your life. Once you realize that, you can just say, I already know I have value. I know God set something before me. I'm going to have fun, do my best, try to get as good as I can. That's what I was doing when I was playing Call of Duty. I'm going to get better every single game. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to have fun. Why am I going to beat myself up? I already know I have value. Why am I going to do this? Why am I going to let people talk, say stuff, when I know you're talking out of a place of insecurity and stuff like that? When you're going to be stuck here, I'm going to continue to get better and better. You're doing it. You're shooting yourself in the foot. It's the same thing for life. People are going to talk about you. People are going to say you're this or that. But if you can understand, you already have value. You're already going to a place that God has foreordained for you. And once you can be inherent that value and know that you are one of one, nobody else has been set on your path that God has set you on, you can just start walking with that value and it becomes confidence and swagger. And I love that concept. So that's what we were talking about with remembering that you're already complete. I think it's a beautiful thing because all of a sudden you start walking about it with a different level of confidence in your life. You stop comparing yourself and you start being able to be like, I am loving this journey that God has me on, the ups and the downs of it. Not so like, oh, this isn't going, like, there will be times in the past where, you know, it's like you're getting older. It's like, am I doing enough right now? What are people thinking about me? Am I putting enough into these videos? Am I doing this or that? But no, I know I'm doing the best that I can. And now it's a completely different thing where it's not coming out of insecurity. It's coming from that confidence. It's a beautiful thing. And if we think about it too, there's another way of thinking about it. Excuse me. With the story of David. So the story of David in the Bible is basically, you know, he defeats Goliath. God comes in Samuel and tells David and ordains David to be the next king. He's defeated, after he gets ordained to be the next king, he defeats Goliath, but then Saul ends up chasing him out because he's jealous of him and chases him into a cave. David is a little bit off balance. He's a little bit like, what the hell was that about? Even though he had already been named king, but sometimes in those moments, in that storm, in the eye of the storm, you kind of forget that you have value in God already, that God has already ordained your path. So he gets a little bit shaken, but he recenters himself in God in that cave and continues to sing the praises of God. And he knows. And even in another time where he takes all of his men out of the village to go look for some enemies, and when they come back and they end up seeing that the enemies have taken their women and children and they are crushed. They're crying. They are crying so they can't cry no more. And even David's own men start turning on him and they're like, dude, we should freaking kill this dude. He just did this to us. They're blaming him and he is in this tough spot. Even though he's already been ordained by God and all this stuff, even though he's already defeated Goliath, even though he already done all that. But what he does in that moment where he gets a little bit lost in it, of course that's tough. You lose all your women and children, that's tough. Your own men want to kill you, that is tough. But what he does in that moment is he says, but yet I will strengthen myself in the Lord. That is powerful. And lo and behold, he ends up going back to where the enemies took his women and children, getting the women and children back, but also defeating the enemy and getting everything that they have. And a week later after that, probably like a week later, he ends up becoming king. What a beautiful thing. We can strengthen ourselves in the storm and know, even in the struggle, even in these things, if we can continue to strengthen ourselves in the fact that we have inherent value, that we're already on a path, it's a different level of confidence, a different level of swagger. Even if you make mistakes, even if things go wrong, you have the ability to have that confidence and walk about with that confidence, not because of, I got money, I got anything. It's because you are one of one, uniquely made in God. That is a beautiful thing. Because once you say like, oh, I have confidence because I got money right now, or I'm looking good today, it's so fragile. We understand that it is up and down, and it's not as strong as saying, I have confidence in Jesus. For the Lord shall be thy confidence. Look up that verse. Have that into your heart, man. That is so powerful. Do you understand what that means? For the Lord shall be my confidence. Not saying that I have confidence in anything else, but in God. And the ability to say, I only bow down to God is the most confident, the most swagger that you can walk about with in your life. Here's another way of thinking about it. In the movie Iron Man 2, Iron Man is basically, he's doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff because his own arc reactor, his heart, is poisoning him. It's killing him slowly. And he starts self-destructing, doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff, and he's trying to he's isolating, pushing everybody out because he doesn't know what to do. He's trying to do everything that he can, but it's just not working, and he starts to fear for that. He starts living in that fear, and it causes all this to happen. But then later on in the movie, Nick Fury comes to him and, you know, Tony Stark's telling him, I've already tried everything, nothing's gonna work, like, no matter what, like, this is just, like, he's running out of time. He feels like he's running out of time. And how often do we feel like we are running out of time? Like, we gotta figure it all out. It's on our own stuff. We're doing it alone, and we start self-isolating. We get fearing the fact that it's all on us. The weight of the world is on us. But Nick Fury ends up telling him, your dad thought that you were the only person that could finish what he had started. And Tony Stark tells him, like, my dad was cold, calculating. It's a little bit hard for me to understand you saying that. He doesn't understand it. He's just like, he's not in touch with that. Now, our Father, God, is not cold and calculating. He's very loving and all that stuff. But sometimes we don't really touch in to what he has already set for us. So Nick Fury tells him, well, are you that guy that your dad said that you are? Are you the guy that can finish what he has started. He has already said that, but are you that guy? Do you believe that you are that guy? Because if you are, you can solve the riddle of your heart. The thing that's going on in the arc reactor, you can solve that, but then also the riddle of your heart in general, where to place your heart. Now, of course, Tony, he's having a hard time believing this. A lot of the times when we go to scripture, we're having a hard time believing that we are the person that God says that we are in the Bible. Because it's like we haven't touched our Bible. We haven't even built any relationship with God. How can we be this person that he's talking about in the Bible? How can we be blessed and prosperous and like he's saying that he has good things happening for us. He knows that he wants to prosper us, that we can go out there and do great things through Christ who strengthens me. You could do all things through Christ who strengthens you. It's hard for us to believe at the time. It just seems kind of like crazy. But Tony has to slow down and start diving into what his father said, like we have to do. So he slows down and he actually dives into what his dad had left for him. He dives into it. And one of the things that his dad says, he stops and he says, Tony, you're not going to understand this right now, but my greatest creation is you. And Tony is like, understandably, it just hits him in the heart. And he says, I forgot what else he said, but he basically was saying that his greatest creation is him. And he is the only one that can finish what he has started. That's all he needs to say. Tony, after hearing that his greatest creation is him, he understands that everything will come not from what he's done, not from the success that he has, not from his technology, anything like that, but from what Tony has inside of him. God is saying the same thing to you. His greatest creation is you. We're not trying to prove our worth to God. We're not trying to prove our works to God. We're not trying to prove it to anybody else. But inside of us, God has already put it. He has already foreordained what we are going to do. And when we understand that, we start going from that place instead of from the place of insecurity, trying to prove ourselves to the world, trying to prove ourselves to God. God has already given us the green light, and he has already put everything that we need inside of us. So after Tony hears that, he realizes that his dad had already planned everything. His dad had the element that he needed to solve the riddle of his heart already set there for him to solve, because he knew that his greatest creation was Tony, and he was the only one that could finish that. His dad already planned it after death. His dad already died, but he was still, like he said, he's been dead for 30 years, but he's still taking him to school. Beautiful thing, man. That is so good. God is taking us to school. Jesus is dead. Or not dead, but Jesus has risen to heaven. He's not on earth anymore, but he is still taking us to school every day with the wisdom in the Bible. God is still taking us to school with the wisdom in the Bible. It's a beautiful thing, because after Tony realizes that, and now he can start to make relationships. Now he can start to actually just relax and realize that that's all he has to do. It's going to come from him. He doesn't have to do it from this self-destructing, pushing Pepper away, pushing all these people away. What a beautiful thing. If you can realize that you are God's greatest creation, everything that you need for what you're going to do is already inside of you. You can start taking it day by day, only looking at the next step, looking at what is in front of you, the next step that God has put in front of you, and doing it from a place of confidence, of joy, of love, not from a place of insecurity, needing validation, doing anything like that. And that's where everything is going to come from. I realized that in my life, everything comes from there. The best of my videos has come from here. The best relationships in my life, well, the best relationship, I have one relationship with my girlfriend. That's the only person I've been in a relationship with, but our relationship has got so much better from that. My family relationships have gotten so much better. My life has gotten so much better from that place, because you start being like, I can slow down and not need to have this like kind of, I have to figure it all out. I have to figure out how I'm gonna make these videos work. I have to figure it all out right now. I'm doing it on my own, and start realizing I'm gonna do what I can to the best of my ability every single day, and I'm gonna trust that God's gonna lead me where I need to. That's where the best ideas in my life have come from. That's where this freaking sitting down and actually taking the time to look at this movie and put it into a way that helps me understand what God is trying to tell me, that came from actually taking a step back and just slowing down and trusting God like Tony Stark trusted his father. It is the same beautiful thing. And at the time, I was a little bit anxious, because I'm like, am I doing enough right now by sitting here and watching this movie? But really, it's something that has gotten into my heart, and it is going to drive me for the rest of my life, and I know that. And how often can we not allow ourselves to do that, because we're playing from that place of needing validation? We want to look like we're doing something. I wanted to look like I was doing something so my family and my parents didn't say that, oh, are you doing enough? Or like, are you kind of like, you're in your room for a while and you're kind of like, they're gonna say something about it, you know, they're gonna say something about it, or you're, even if they don't, you're gonna feel like, oh, they're gonna be judging me because like I'm taking some time and it doesn't look like I'm working, quote unquote, but I am. And we can do that. And once we do that, we allow ourselves to trust God over everything else. Know that you have inherent value. Whatever you do, you are able to say, I am one of one, and my confidence comes from God, not from needing validation from your family, not from needing validation from other people, just from God, and allowing yourself to do what you're doing from a place of love and allowing it to come out. Just like Alyssa Liu in her skating performance, a beautiful thing, just from a place of sharing what you have inside, your most authentic self, your best version of that art, that craft, whatever it might be, your performance. It's gonna get the best out of you in basketball, sports. It's gonna get the best out of you in communication, if you're doing public speaking, anything like that, man. It's gonna have you having your best days, because it's not gonna be this constant anxiety that you're walking about within your life. I used to go at the end of my days, I would have this anxiety because I would think like, did my, it's funny to think about it, but did my dad see me doing enough? It's a funny thing. Did he see me doing enough? Because I know that if he didn't, he's gonna think that I'm being lazy, all that stuff. But now I could be in my room chilling. Let me just share this. I could be in my room chilling, thinking about these things. I'll be diving into books, putting these things together, because I know that finding these stories is helping strengthen my soul. And it's actually been the thing that's launched me so much farther. Now, on the outside, from my dad, he's gonna see me in my room and think that I'm not doing anything. But in the past, that would have gotten to me. But now, after learning about this and diving into this, knowing that I'm already complete, I can say that to myself and know that I can do this with confidence. The other day, he came up to me and he was like, you all right, son? He's like, my dad is a very amazing person. He's a very amazing, he just cares about me, like all of our families do. But he's like, you all right, son? And he's like, you're kind of like, they're like, you're kind of out of your groove or something. But I was like, nah, I'm all right. Like, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm actually more in my groove than I ever have been. And I know that it's just because he sees me and he might be worried that I'm not doing enough. But I told him, I was just straight up like, no, I'm in my room a little bit more, but I'm just like figuring stuff out in there. And like, it's like, I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm just figuring stuff out. And that is such a different place of coming from, because now I don't have that anxiety at the end of the night. Like, oh, what did people see? Did the people see me do enough? Does my girlfriend know that I'm doing enough? Anything like that? Or, oh, I got to provide for my girlfriend right now. And now I'm going to be playing from a place of anxiety with these videos, anything like that. No, no, no. You can play from a place of freedom and get your best performance out of that. Your best performance, your best stuff, the best stuff that you have inside for anything you're doing is going to come from that. I love you guys very much, man. This is an amazing thing, amazing concept. Please have this in your heart. All you have to say is that one verse to really hone it in. And ye are complete in him. That's all you have to say. In Jesus, you are complete. I love you guys very, very much, man. Talk to y'all in the next video. Peace.